في ظل التصعيد الأخير بين إسرائيل وإيران وحزب الله والحوثيين، نستضيف معنا الكولونيل احتياط ونائب رئيس مجلس الأمن القومي سابقا إيتمار يعار. أهلا بك سيد إيتمار. هل برأيك أننا نحن الآن أمام جولة تصعيدية إضافية بين إسرائيل وبين إيران، أم أنها جولة يمكن احتوائها في الأيام المقبلة؟
I don't think that we are now in the beginning of a big new round between Israel and Iran. When we look on the different interests of the different players, the Americans would like to stop and to have some kind of a ceasefire at least for a month, if not more. The Israelis don't have an interest to have a big fight now against Iran. The Israeli interest, the main Israeli interest, is not the only one, is to try to make sure that there will not be any connection between what is happening between the US and Iran and Israel and Iran in one side and what is happening in Lebanon. Because if there is a threat from Lebanon to Israel, Israel will insist to deal with it even if it will harm what is happening between the US and Iran. And I think that what is happening now, according to the Iranian interest, is to try to push the Americans.
سنصل إلى هذه النقاط، لكن دعني أسأل هنا، هل باعتقادك أن هذا التصعيد بعد أن كان هنالك تهديد من قبل إيران أنه في حال أقدمت إسرائيل على قصف الضاحية سترد إيران، فهل هذا التصعيد الإسرائيلي يمكن أن نقول يهدف إلى إفشال المفاوضات مع الولايات المتحدة؟
I think that it was not the case. I think that Israel wanted to make sure that the Iranians will not think that they can force Israel not to deal with the Hezbollah because it might harm the relations between the US and Iran. Israel didn't want to explode the Iranian-American, but it's important to Israel to make sure that we will be able to act against every threat from Lebanon, from Hezbollah of course.
لكن في بداية الحرب سيد إيتمار كان هنالك سقف أهداف عالية، أقصد هنا الحرب بين إسرائيل وبين إيران، والآن على ما يبدو بعد انتهاء هذه الحرب يبدو أن إيران غيرت قواعد الاشتباك، باعتبار أنه أول مرة تقوم باستهداف إسرائيل بعد استهداف إسرائيلي في داخل لبنان. هذا لا يصب في صالح إسرائيل، أليس كذلك؟
Israel would like to have different channels between the Lebanese issues and the Iranian, American and Israeli issues. And this is what I just said. This is the Israeli interest. The Iranians, you are right that it was the first time that the Iranians attacked Israel directly because what is happening in Lebanon. The Iranians used to do it until lately by using Hezbollah. The fact is that I understand that Hezbollah is too weak, so Iran is forced to do it by itself. This is the new situation. And the Iranians have an interest, of course, as I think, to make sure that we will not act against Hezbollah. It will allow Hezbollah to build again itself and its capabilities. And this is exactly what Israel tried to avoid.
طيب، إذا ما نظرنا إلى الجهود التي بذلها الرئيس الأمريكي دونالد ترامب خلال قبل جولة التصعيد الحالية لمنع إسرائيل من توجيه هذه الضربة، هل يمكننا أن نستشف أن بإمكان الجيش الإسرائيلي القيام بمثل هذه الجولة العسكرية مع إيران وحده دون مشاركة الولايات المتحدة؟
President Trump didn't like Israel to go on attacking Hezbollah. It's clear. But he understands that you can't force Israel in one hand to allow Hezbollah to go on attacking Israeli positions in Israeli settlements within Israel. I don't speak about attacking Israeli forces within South Lebanon. They are attacking Israeli kibbutzim, Israeli towns within Israel. President Trump understands that he can't stop Israel from respond to this kind of things, and this is the reason I believe why he agreed with Netnyahu that we can go on attacking Hezbollah, but his interest is to make sure that it will be in a low level. In other words, to do what the minimum that need to be done to try to convince Hezbollah and the rest of the Lebanese population that Hezbollah should stop the attack on Israel.
لكنك لم تجبني على سؤالي، وسؤالي كان واضحا: هل بإمكان إسرائيل أن تواجه إيران وحدها في المرحلة الحالية إذا ما قررت الولايات المتحدة عدم الاشتراك؟
Israel will not have a campaign without the US against Iran. What Israel might do, and I believe that Israel will do, we have, you know, when we speak about campaign, what we have in mind is aeroplanes and missiles that attack Iran. Israel has some other means to try to fight Iran, as we showed early this year. And I believe that this kind of confrontation of Iran by Israel will go on if the Americans will have some kind of a ceasefire with Iran. All that under the estimate that the Iranians will try to build a nuclear facilities. What Trump say again and again and again that he will not allow.
طيب، إذا ما نظرنا إلى الفترة الأخيرة والتسريبات الإعلامية، كان هنالك نوع من التوتر بين الرئيس الأمريكي دونالد ترامب ورئيس الحكومة الإسرائيلية بنيامين نتنياهو. هل باعتقادك هناك تراجع في العلاقات الإسرائيلية الأمريكية؟
I must admit, I can't know and perhaps even not understand exactly what President Trump have in mind. And I'm not the only one that have no idea what is happening within his mind. It's clear that Trump thought and believed that he can agree with Netanyahu about everything. And this was the case until the American interest, mainly Trump interest, to have quietness before the football games, for example, and to have some kind of a low-level confrontation, if not quietness, before the mid-elections in November. And in this point, the American interest, or Trump interest, and the Israeli interest found themselves in different directions. And then he thought that he can convince or order even Netanyahu to do everything that he's looking for, and there are some limits that even Netanyahu can't give him that. Now, will it affect the personal relations between those two? Yes, but we know President Trump. He is very quick to become angry and then very quick to change his mind. So I believe that in the long term, there is a difference. And I think that President Trump understands something very, very important. He understands that Netanyahu is weak. Not that Israel is weak, but Netanyahu is weak politically. And he, I believe, understand that we are facing now the last months that Netanyahu will be in power. And he feel that he can push him, and this is Trump's way to do it. You know, he doesn't stop himself, and when he's angry, he shout at you and use every word that he knows.
نعم، وكل ما تفضلت به على ما يبدو أنه واضح للجانب الإيراني. هنالك تقديرات في إسرائيل التي ترى أن التصعيد أيضا من قبل إيران يهدف إلى تحسين موقعها في المفاوضات مع الولايات المتحدة. هل توافق مع ذلك؟
I fully agree with it. I think that from the Iranian side, everything that they are doing is part of the negotiations between them and the Americans. They understand that Trump would like to have some kind of a quiet situation, and they try to get from him the maximum that they get to achieve it. And Israel is not the main player, even according to their view. The real player is America and Trump, and everything that they are doing, it's some kind of a response to that.
طيب، دعنا ننتقل إلى الجبهة مع لبنان. يبدو أن إسرائيل بعد شهرين من هذه الحرب تقريبا لم تصل إلى نتيجة حتمية أو حسم في الوضع هناك. هل باعتقادك أن الوضع يزداد يعني تعقيدا على الجبهة الشمالية لإسرائيل مع لبنان؟
My direct answer is yes. I think that we achieved almost everything that we would like to achieve a year ago. And I think that from that point on, we achieve less and less. The basic idea is, and this is exactly what the Israeli Prime Minister do the opposite. Enlargement of the area that Israel controls within Lebanon is not the Israeli interest, it's against the Israeli interest. It has nothing to do with the attack of drones and UAVs and missiles from Hezbollah into Israel. And because of that, I believe that Israel need not to take control on more and more Lebanese land. In the other hand, we need to attack every threat that Hezbollah causes Israel. Is it in the Bekaa? Is it in Beirut? Is it in other places? To enlarge the Israeli control on more and more land in South Lebanon, it's against the Israeli interest, but this is the policy of Netanyahu, and I believe Netanyahu is a smart guy.
لماذا هذه سياسة نتنياهو؟
Only because of internal political pressures. He need to show, at least he thinks so, he need to show his supporters in Israel that he is strong, that he is doing things, that the situation is not stable, and he know how to do, and many Israelis, I'm sorry to say it, at least his supporters believe that the real solution is to take more and more of the Lebanese land, and in this way to convince the Lebanese people and the Hezbollah that they are losing more and more territory. I believe that it's wrong. This is not what will convince Hezbollah not to attack Israel.
جميل. هل أفهم من كلامك يعني أنه لا توجد هنالك استراتيجية للخروج من داخل لبنان في المنظور القريب على الأقل حتى الانتخابات المقبلة؟
I can't see a situation that Netanyahu will go out from every part of South Lebanon that we control now, at least until the elections. I can say that it will not happen from very specific places in South Lebanon, where, as we saw this week, where the Lebanese government and the Lebanese president and the Lebanese army will say, we can take over, we can take control on very specific places, mainly the areas that are populated by Christian population and even by Sunni population, not to speak about Druze in this area. I can't see any situation that Israel will go back to the line, the recognized line. It's not a border, of course. It's a line between Israel and Lebanon. It will not happen at least until the elections. What will happen after the elections, when we will have a new government? Even the new government, and I can't say who will lead it, but it will not be Netanyahu, it's clear. Even the new government will not withdraw from every inch of South Lebanon unless the Lebanese authorities will show that they can control what Hezbollah is doing. I don't see any Israeli government that will withdraw from South Lebanon at the same time that the Hezbollah will go on fighting against Israel by missile, UAVs, drones and all that.
طيب حزب الله ليس التحدي الوحيد لإسرائيل، أيضا الحوثيون في اليمن انضموا من خلال إطلاق صاروخ على تل أبيب يعني في ساعات مبكرة من صباح اليوم الاثنين. هل باعتقادك أن الحكومة الحالية أيضا وحدت الجبهات ضد حزب الله وإيران والحوثيين؟
I don't like the Israeli current government policy in any way. But I don't think that we can say that they have done it. What we see, the different fronts, it's exactly the Iranian strategy for many years. It's not new. I'm not very worried of the threat from the Houthis. I think that we can handle it It's not the point. There is a threat from the Houthis, but it's not the attack on Israel. The real threat that we can expect from the Houthis is that they will try to close Bab el-Mandeb and to try to do what the Iranians are doing now in the Gulf on Bab el-Mandeb, on the way to the Suez Canal and on that. Let's be a bit optimistic. I think that all the different Arab players have an interest not to allow the Houthis to do it. It's not very simple to do it, but there are enough forces now, internationals and Arab forces, that will do whatever they can to make sure that it will not happen. The ones that are affected by that, closing the Bab el-Mandeb, more than anybody else, is not Israel. It's first of all Egypt. And second, other Arab countries, because to export everything that they export, mainly energy, to Europe, Bab el-Mandeb closure will cause a huge damage to their interest.
طيب نكاد ننسى قطاع غزة في ظل كل هذه التطورات الأمنية. هل باعتقادك أن إسرائيل تقترب من تحقيق أهدافها العسكرية، خاصة أن نتنياهو ذكر مؤخرا أنه أوعز بالاستيلاء على 70% من أراضي قطاع غزة؟
I said a few minutes ago that I don't believe that taking over more and more land is a solution to anything. And this is the case in Gaza as well. I don't see the Israeli government or the Israeli forces take more and more territory in Gaza. I think that all these talks and even some moves on the ground are their way to try to push Hamas to agree to what the international coalition and the group that is going to run Gaza to force the Hamas to allow them to go into Gaza and to take more and more control on Gaza. This is the Israeli way to do it. I am not sure that there is a lot of effect of the talks. I don't see it. It's not a serious threat. It's not the Israeli interest even. I think that from the Israeli position, the fact that we control now more than 50%, a bit more than 50% of the land of Gaza is good enough to threaten Hamas that if they will not agree to what they are asked to agree, it's enough. You don't need to take more and more, and not to speak about the humanitarian situation that is awful in Gaza. But there is another front that we didn't mention even, and the situation there is bad. I yesterday went to see what is happening in the area of, not in Hebron, Khalil itself, but the area south of Hebron.
اعتداءات المستوطنين.
Yes, and what the Israeli military is doing or not doing there. I think the situation there.
عمليا الجيش هناك يدعم في كثير من الأحيان اعتداءات المستوطنين ضد الفلسطينيين.
The cooperation between the settlers on the ground and some Israeli soldiers and officers on the ground is awful. It's against the national security of Israel. It's against the Israeli citizens' interest. It's against the Palestinian interest. It's awful. I'm afraid to say that I don't see a huge change on that until we have another government. What we are doing now, and my group is doing it every day, is trying to be on the ground to help the Palestinians that live there and to help them and to speak with the military and to speak with the senior commanders of the Israeli forces, first of all, to show them what is really happening, and then to demand from them, and we are doing it. We are doing it by using meetings, and we are doing by writing open letters and published it, that we think it's not only a humanitarian issue, it's not only a moral issue, it's really, really against the interest of the Israelis and the Palestinians on the ground. And we are working for the interest of fundamental, it's not even the settlers. I can tell you that most of the settlers understand that what these people are doing, it's against them themselves, because it colors all of them as they are that. Yes, I blame even these people that don't agree with it, that they don't speak up. But it's a very small group of settlers, very fundamental, and I'm sure that the Israeli authority needs to arrest them, nothing less than that.
لكن هذا لا يحدث عمليا على أرض الواقع. الشرطة الإسرائيلية لا تعتقل المستوطنين، مثل ما تفضلت. عدد من الوزراء في هذه الحكومة يدعمون هذه النشاطات بطريقة أو بأخرى، النشاطات العدائية أقصد هنا. من ناحية الجيش أيضا يبدو أنه لا يعمل ما فيه الكفاية من أجل لجم هذه الظاهرة التي يشارك فيها جنود مع المستوطنين ضد الفلسطينيين. هل برأيك في ظل هذا المناخ الحالي يمكن أن نشهد أيضا تصعيد في داخل الضفة الغربية؟
Look, I think that every of these kind of activities convince more Palestinians to be extreme and to believe that the only way to deal with this situation is by using force against the Israelis. And we see it from time to time. And I'm sorry to say it. And I will say something more. I am ashamed, personally, and I'm not alone. Yesterday, when we were there, we went to meet and we had visited some of these places, and we met the Palestinians on the ground, and we heard them, and we saw the videos that they take daily. And we met some of the settlers in the other side, we saw it. And in the end of every visit, I said to the host, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed as an Israeli, I'm ashamed as a Jew, I'm ashamed as a human being. And I can tell you, it's not only me. Yesterday, as part of the small group that we were there was a former Minister of Defense. And four other
عمن نتحدث هنا عن أي وزير دفاع سابق تتحدث؟
بوغي يالون. He went with us and we saw it. And another 4 two-star generals that were there that had senior positions as part of the defense staff. And what we saw, I can tell you, we, all of us, it's not only that we don't agree to that, we are saying and we try to influence. We can't influence the ministers because there's nobody to listen to. We try to influence the high level within the military and within the Shabak, that they need to act against it. Again, not only because of the moral issues, because it against the Israeli population interest. It's a real threat. It's a real threat because it's encouraged the extreme people in the Palestinian side, and it's encouraged the extreme people among the settlers because they see that they can do whatever they like almost, and it's encouraged more people to go and be involved in it, and it's against everything that you can think of, not to speak about the Israel international cooperation with others, and I said, but basically it's a moral issue. There is nothing, there is no reason to act as we see from time to time against people that even if they don't agree with us, even if they don't like the Israeli control on the West Bank, and I can understand it. I can agree or disagree, but I can understand that if I would have been a Palestinian, I also would have not liked that somebody else will confront me. But I can tell you that the people that are there, almost all of them, okay, almost all of them, look for regular life, quiet life, that nobody will come and attack them, nobody will wake them in the middle of the night, nobody will try to steal some of their sheep. And again, it's against the Israeli interest. It's not that, you know, we need to give up because there are other reasons. The main reason not to behave like that, it's the moral issue and it's against the Israeli interest.
السيد إيتمار يعار، كولونيل سابق في الجيش الإسرائيلي ونائب رئيس مجلس الأمن القومي سابقا، وكذلك مدير عام قادة من أجل إسرائيل، شكرا جزيلا لك على هذه المقابلة.
شكرا.